Thousands flocked to Northland field days, but we had difficulty finding many farmers to talk to. They may have been on their farms, fencing off waterways. Recently released figures found Northland farmers had the highest rates of non-compliance in the country when it comes to keeping stock away from waterways. 23% non-compliance. This has caused environmentalists like Kevin Hackwell from Forest and Bird to claim the council isn't doing enough to prevent dirty dairying.
One of the key things is to be really clear to the farmers that poor performance won't be tolerated, so that if they're operating and don't have the wherewithal to financially to put in the right sort of systems, then maybe they need to be thinking about whether they should be farming. If they can't meet the resource consents, then maybe it's time for them to get out.
But this is something farmers we talked to didn't like one bit.
Bring them up here, put them on a farm for a month, specifically around August, September, and see how they can comply with what they are demanding.
It happens rarely, but on this one, farmers and the council are on the same side. Council Operations Manager Tony Phipps says the numbers are that high because the Northland Regional Council is more thorough than other councils when it comes to farm investigations.
Well, Northland has one of the most rigorous monitoring and compliance regimes in the country, inspecting every farm every year, taking water samples where there's discharges, whereas you'll see from the figures that some regions, even some of the bigger ones, don't even visit a third of the farms.
Farmers we talked to agreed the council was vigilant in its monitoring, and they said they were trying hard to meet expectations.
Like I've seen in the last few years, so many ponds go in. Even my neighbours have really put the ponds in to stop it from going in the creeks. And they're fencing creeks off. Like I myself fence creeks off and fence places off.
Alan Halliday, spokesman for 5 iwi in the region cleaning up waterways, says they are in bad shape, but says he does see a real effort from farmers in the area.
They're actually changing the ways, fencing off the waterways, planting riparian strips. There's a lot of farmers that acknowledge that in order for them to be farming, then they need to be looking at sustainable farming.
Mr Phipps says more recent figures have confirmed non-compliance rates are dropping and says farmers should be applauded for the improving figures. He says people like Kevin Hackwell, who have the expertise, should be offering to be involved in the process.
And I basically invited him to take part rather than sort of armchair stone throwing from a distance.
The numbers come from the Sustainable Dairying Water Accord. It replaces the old accord which only included Fonterra farmers. This new accord is a partnership between Fonterra and other dairy companies along with government. It aims to have 90% of cattle excluded from waterways by May 2014 and 100% excluded by the same month 2017. John Watson for the Daily Report.